welcome back to the channel. This week I'm going to talk more about this Garmin Etrex SE that you've all been asking me about. Is it worth it and would I recommend that you buy one? Stay tuned to find out. And for those that have come for a slightly longer adventure, the video carries on after I've talked about the Garmin.
So I bought this Garmin Etrex SE a month or so ago because I was concerned that my phone wouldn't be good enough to navigate me safely through the trails during the winter months. I always have backup battery banks, that goes without saying, but I'd rather the phone be a backup rather than my primary navigation system. So before I give you my honest opinion on this unit, let's chat about how I load the route onto the Garmin.
It all starts with where do you want to walk, and then you just have to start designing a route.
Using the Garmin Explore app, assuming that you've already downloaded the app and created a free account and connected your Garmin device, you can now start designing your route. In the app, it's as simple as pointing where you want to start and then pointing where you want to go. Zooming in and out for more map detail, following roads or paths of your choice, and then plan your route. Once you've finished creating your route, hit the save button, then name the walk. Turn on your Garmin and sync it with your device. Once that's done, the route you've designed will be available on your Garmin.
Once you're at your starting point, that can be your house, where your van is, or a dedicated spot like this. Turn on your Garmin, go to saved courses, and pick the route that you've designed. It'll load the route, then click OK, go, and your route guidance will start. You can set off on your walk.
Now, for some of you watching, you might be thinking, that's not for me. It all looks a little bit too complicated and too much faff. Now, while it feels like a bit of a faff at first, once you've done it a few times, it becomes second nature and you don't really think about the process too much.
The user interface, compared to more expensive devices, is a tad clunky. It's a simple screen with a backlight that's akin to an iPod from 2006. But do you know what? After using this device for a month now, I wouldn't come hiking without it.
I do think that paper maps will always be around. They're reliable, never run out of battery, and if you can read a map, it's a great skill to learn. If you can't, they're a great primary form of navigation too.
But for me, paper maps are a third backup. And why oh why did I choose a really hilly route to do this filming today? So now my primary navigation system is my Garmin Etrex SE, then my backup, my first backup is my phone, and then my second backup is a paper map. However, today I don't have any paper maps because I've never been to this area before. And if I want to come back, I'll probably purchase a paper map, slap it in my bag, the map that is, and then I've got my third backup. Lovely.
Speaking of maps, the maps on the Garmin Etrex are pretty much non-existent. It's simply just a line that you follow, and zooming in and out gives you a better and more accurate idea of whether you're on the planned route or not. It does give you lots of other useful information though, like how long it will take to finish the route, average speeds, your elevation, and other nerdy stuff that I absolutely love to know when I'm out walking.
And like with most electronic devices these days, it doesn't come without its faults. If I get to a path where I can't physically get through, or it's a dead end, or whatever, this won't reroute me. It's only designed to follow the route that I've created. So what I've had to do in that instance is open the Explore app or Outdoor Active, reroute myself until I'm back on this track, and then continue using this as my navigation system.
Now I can already hear you typing, what's the point in having a dedicated navigation unit if you still have to use your phone? I asked myself that question many times before purchasing this unit. But I've only had to open the app once or twice so far, which means I'm using way less battery on my phone than if I was using it as my primary navigation system, leaving the phone for emergencies and or slight route changes. Also, worth mentioning, the battery life on this device is phenomenal. I've been on loads of walks using this Garmin, and the two AA batteries in the unit have only lost 1 bar out of 4. And with the spec sheet saying that it should last over 160 hours, I'm inclined to agree with it in my real world usage so far.
So is it worth really buying? Well, that all depends on what you want. If you're looking for a unit that's got less detailed maps and straightforward navigation, then get the Etrex SE, the one that I've got. But if you want something a bit more detailed, then go for something like the Touch. However, that unit, as of making this video, costs over £400. No, thank you.
Before buying this unit, I did look at the Etrex 22 and the Etrex 30 with full colour screens and more detailed maps, as they were around the £200 mark, or even cheaper if they were renewed on Amazon. But neither of those units has Bluetooth or better GPS systems inside, so it was a no-brainer for me. Here's a list of the key specifications that might interest some of you watching. Either pause to read or skip to 4 minutes 51 for a chat about the cost and my final thoughts before carrying on with my adventure. Also, while you're here, it would be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel, as I mainly focus on showing you great campsites that you can visit, hiking, gadgets for camping, DIY van upgrades and dad humour. So if that sounds like your thing, then join me for the ride.
Now this unit only cost £130 brand new. It's got the latest GPS technology in it, Bluetooth, it's waterproof, and I absolutely love it. So if you're looking for something that's simple, that doesn't have any detailed maps, then I highly recommend this unit.
And spending a bit more time on your camera's exposure settings, Cole.
But if you're looking for something with colour maps that are detailed, then I suggest saving up and going for something like the Garmin Etrex Touch.
So for those who've come for a slightly longer adventure, stick around to see where I'm heading next. I also show you a few little changes I've made to the van when I get back too. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about in more detail during my videos, please comment below and I'll add it to a list of stuff to discuss. This channel isn't about me, it's about showing you where you could go in your van to get the most out of it. And showing you things that I've bought with my own money. Let's not mention the wheels though, eh? Speaking of the wheels, I do have an update video coming up soon after a couple of months with them, that I'm sure some of you will be interested in. Continue living the dream and go grab yourself another drink. It's Friday night after all. Or Thursday night if you remember.
Boobies in the road. Oh, right then, it's a few hours later. In fact, it's about 3 o'clock, and you probably noticed that I've got rid of the awning and all of the outdoor associated stuff. There's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is that it's going to absolutely throw it down later on from about 10 o'clock, and I don't want to be putting the awning and all the outdoor stuff away while it's raining. That's pretty grim. Not only that, I am leaving tomorrow, and I always like to make sure everything's packed and away as much as it possibly can be, so that I get maximum time in bed before I have to leave site. I made a few minor changes in the van, nothing enough to do a full video on. I have changed the swing out table to a black swing out table because I didn't really like the pine coloured one. It just stuck out too much, whereas the black one now just fades into the distance. It's nice, still the same table, still has the same functionality, it just fades into the background. You don't really notice it as much. I've also recarpeted the seat shelf in the front here, the one that I did a video on not so long back, and I did it in grey carpet. Not really a fan of that, so I've carpeted that black. That again fades into the background, looks snazzier, looks neater. I prefer it, so yeah, that's all done. Now, because everything's just all black in the area, including the dash and everything, it is a bit dark there at night time. So what I've also done is I bought a little LED light and I've stuck that to the top, linked it to the main lights in here, so when you switch them on, that comes on and it's a lovely bright light in that area, but also that's got a switch on, so you can switch that off separately if you don't want to have this big bright light in there. Nice. See you, bye. I'm going to down tools now and turn the camera off, chill out for a bit, and I shall see you guys in the morning for the next part of the adventure. See you, bye.
Lower back is killing me, and I
If you love someone with ADHD, then this might be the most important 60 seconds of your day.
Well, good morning everybody. Today is the day that I go down to Caerphilly and I cannot wait. However, because there are 0 campsites in Caerphilly, I've had to book a hotel.
So, turns out my continuity is not great here, but all will become clear as to why I'm staying in a hotel a little bit later on in the video.
Now, I can't check into the hotel until 4, but thankfully you don't have to check out of this campsite until 1:30. So I'll only have a couple of hours to kill. So a bit of a lazy morning this morning, which is unusual and ace. However, I think I'm a bit of a storm chaser. I must be. The meet-up, it was Storm Amy. When I went to Northumberland, it was Storm Benjamin. And now I'm in Wales, it's Storm Claudia, and that's happening today. Welcome to Yorkshire Pop Top Adventures, where all the storms happen and stuff.
After a wonderfully lazy morning scrolling social media, drinking coffee and listening to the rain on the roof of the van, I decided to get packed up and set off into Storm Claudia, whatever you want to call it. You know a storm is bad when it's just started and there's already a tree down in the middle of the road. After driving in the rain and the wind for about an hour, I eventually arrived at the hotel I was staying at, faffed in the van for a bit, then filmed this gloriously professional piece walking into the hotel. Eventually though, after walking into the room, putting the camera down and walking back out again to give the illusion that I'm just arriving, I settled in.
Well, that was a drive and a half in that rain. However, I am now here, and he let me check in a little bit early, so it's only 3 o'clock, which is nice. And I think I'm just going to get a shower and go for something to eat. It's absolutely bouncing it down as well, so... Oh, I've left his present in the van. Oh!
Naively, I thought that the steam on the shower doors would be enough to progress the story of me having a shower without showing you parts that should never be shown on the internet, but I was wrong. So, this blurred out section is me in the shower before having a shave and heading out into the rain to meet a subscriber. But before I go drink copious amounts of alcohol, I thought it would be a good idea to line my stomach with all of the carbs in this pizza place. I think it was designed with EasyJet or Jet2 in mind. After my pizza, I headed to the venue only to find out that
I've arrived really early. It's like I'm that guy, so I'm not in the party area. I'm just having a beer on my own on a Friday night in a pub. Cheers.
after sitting there for what felt like an eternity, people started to arrive and I eventually joined the party. I was there for Jordan's 30th birthday as a surprise. His wife Kaylee messaged me a month or so ago and asked if I could go surprise him on his special birthday. Now before you lot get any ideas, this isn't a service. I'm not spending 2026 doing special appearances to birthdays. I photographed their wedding a few years back, so it was super nice to see some familiar faces again and surprise Jordan. So if you've got this far in the video and you're still watching, you've definitely earned the privilege of seeing this next bit. You're welcome.